All right, let's talk about something that can make a lot of people nervous: numbers. But here's the thing: we're going to take that confusion and flip it on its head. Our goal today is to turn those spreadsheets from something you dread into your most powerful secret weapon for leading your business. Let's dive in. Wow, this quote just hits it right on the head, doesn't it? If you're not measuring, you're just guessing. And that simple idea right there is the line in the sand between a passion project and a real, thriving business that's built to last. So, that's the big question, right? How do you actually make that leap from hobby to business? Well, it all starts with one simple but really powerful shift in mindset. You've got to be willing to embrace the cold, hard facts that your numbers are telling you. Here's the thing about numbers: they don't lie. They're not going to try to spare your feelings. They don't have a bad day. They just are. And you know what? The smartest leaders, they love this. They use these unemotional facts to see exactly where they stand, spot the gaps, and then boom, they focus all their energy on closing them. Okay, so let's reframe how we think about all these financial reports. These aren't just dusty old documents for your accountant. No way. Think of them as your personal GPS, your compass for leading your entire business through any kind of weather. You know that feeling, right? When you're right in the thick of it and everything feels kind of foggy. Should we hire that person? Can we afford that new equipment? It's overwhelming. Well, your financial reports are like a giant fog light. They cut right through all that uncertainty and give you the clarity to make smart, fast, and confident decisions. So this compass we're talking about, it's basically made up of three key parts. Now, they're all super important, but today we're going to dive deep into what I like to call the engine room of your business, the profit and loss statement, or P&L for short. The other two are cash flow, which tracks where the money actually goes, and the balance sheet, which is a snapshot of your company's overall health. All right, let's get to the main event. It's time to pop the hood on your profit engine and really learn how to decode the P&L. This, right here, is where the magic happens for your day-to-day operations. Think of the P&L as a report card for your business over a certain period, say a month or a whole year. It really just tells a story. It starts with all the money you brought in, then it subtracts all the money that went out, and what's left at the end, that's your profit. And let's be honest, that's kind of the whole point, right? Okay, this might look a little technical, but it's really just a simple recipe. Let's walk through it. First, you take the number of things you sold, your volume, and multiply it by your price. That's your turnover, your top-line revenue. Then we just start subtracting things. First, the direct costs of making your product. That gets you to gross profit. Next, take out the other costs that go up and down with sales, your variable costs. Now you have something called contribution. And finally, subtract your steady costs, like rent and salaries, your fixed costs. And what's left at the very bottom? That's your trading profit. Simple as that. But hang on a sec. Before we go any further, I want you to think about your business. That very first line, volume, is all about your specific unit of measure. What is the one thing you sell? Is it hours of your time? Is it kilograms of coffee? Is it nights stayed in a room? For our example today, it's going to be liters of cooking oil. But you've got to know yours. Seriously, figuring this out is ground zero for understanding your own business. All right, let's make this real. Meet Mr. Thomas and his cooking oil business. You can see he's sold 1 million liters of oil at $2 a pop. That's $2 million in turnover right at the top. Now just follow the subtractions all the way down, and you see that after everything is said and done, he's left with a trading profit of just over 400 grand. That's his entire year, boiled down to a few simple lines. Pretty powerful stuff. Okay, this is where things get really, really cool. The big total numbers on the left are fine, but the real genius is in looking at them differently. Check out that middle column, the dollar model. It tells us that for every single dollar that comes in the door, 20 cents makes it all the way to the bottom line. Now look at the right, the unit model. This is a game changer. For every single liter of oil he sells, he generates 72 cents of contribution. Knowing that number, well, that's how you start making really smart decisions. So now that we know how much he makes per unit, we can unlock one of the most important, most powerful numbers in any business. I'm talking about the break-even point. So what is break-even? It's your survival number. It's the line in the sand. It tells you the exact number of units you have to sell just to cover all your costs and get back to zero. Not a penny of profit, not a penny of loss. Every single thing you sell after that point, that is pure, beautiful profit. So back to Mr. Thomas. We know he made a profit by selling 1 million liters. But what was the magic number? At what point during the year did his business actually stop losing money and finally start making it? When did he get out of the red and into the black?
And you know what? The formula for this is so simple. It's not some crazy advanced math. You just take your total fixed costs, all that rent and salary stuff, and you divide it by the contribution you make on one single unit. That's it.
So let's plug in the numbers. We know from our unit model that his contribution per liter is 72 cents. We also know his fixed costs are just over $319,000. So you just do the division. The fixed costs divided by the 72 cents per unit, and that gives us our magic number. And boom, there it is, 443,333 liters. That's the number. Mr. Thomas has to sell that many liters of oil just to cover his costs for the year. Can you imagine how much focus that gives him and his sales team? They know that when the year starts, their first goal is to hit that number. Everything after that, that's the win. Okay, so knowing your profit is fantastic. It's sanity. But it's not the whole story. For the ultimate reality check, we have to talk about something even more fundamental: cash. You've probably heard this saying before, and it is pure gold. Turnover is vanity, profit is sanity, but cash flow is reality. Think about it. A huge sales number feels great, right? That's vanity. Seeing a nice profit on your P&L means you've got a sound business model. That's sanity. But the actual spendable money in your bank account, that is reality. Because you can't pay your bills with profit. You pay them with cash. So you see how it all fits together? The P&L is your profit engine, but the cash flow statement is that reality check. It shows if that profit is actually landing in your bank account. And then you've got the balance sheet, which is like a snapshot of your company's health, balancing everything you own against everything you owe. A great leader knows how to read the full story all three reports are telling together. Whew, okay, we have covered a ton of ground here, from the P&L to break even to the reality of cash. So now for the most important part of all, what are you actually going to do with all this? Here's your action plan. 4 simple steps. 1, go build your own P&L using that structure we talked about. 2, create your dollar and unit models from it, and for sure, calculate your break-even number. 3, start paying close attention to your cash flow. Where is the money really going? And 4, take a good, honest look at your balance sheet. That's it. That's your homework. Look, at the end of the day, your numbers aren't just figures on a page. They're telling you the true, unvarnished story of your business every single day. So the only question left is, are you ready to finally sit down and listen?